All right, this is the last part of 10.3, and we're going to look at what's called present value. So this is objective to present value. So present value deals with or basically answers the question of how much money do I need to save now to generate a set amount of funds in the future. So typically these types of problems will have the wording, how much should so-and-so invest now to have a certain amount in the future. So that's how you know that it's a present value problem. And you will see one of these on the test. So before we do an example, we have to talk about what the formula is. The present value formula comes from the compound interest formula. So the compound interest formula, if you remember, is amount equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to NT. By the way, that needs to be memorized. And in order to get the present value formula, we have to understand that the present value is actually the principal. So we're looking for the principal, or P. Remember, P was how much do I put in right at this moment? So it's the same thing. How much money do I need to put in at this moment to achieve an amount later? So you have two options. One is you can just leave the formula alone and just make sure you don't plug in anything for P. You're going to plug in something for A, R, N, and T, but not P, okay? Or you can rearrange the formula so that P is isolated. To do that, what you're going to do is you're going to read it. It says P times the quantity 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So what I'm going to do is divide off both sides by 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. And what I do to one side, I have to do the other. Okay? And what happens is on the left-hand side, I get amount over 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. And then since I have 1 plus R over N to the NT over 1 plus R over N to the NT on the right-hand side, that equals 1. So I'm left with just P. So that's your other option. So you can rearrange the formula or memorize it, whatever your choice is. Or you could keep the compound interest formula intact and just remember that you don't plug in for P. So it's your choice. But here's the formal definition or the formula for present value. Okay, so remember, we're looking for P. That is the principal. All right, so we have two problems left. The first one says, Adam wishes to have $20,000 available in 18 years to purchase a new car for his son as a high school graduation gift. To accomplish his goal, how much money should Adam invest now in a CD that pays 1.55% interest compounded quarterly? Okay, so there's some clues. First of all, we got to recognize the clues. How much money does Adam wish to have now? That wording is invest now, and I have the word compound. When that happens, I know that this is a present value problem. Okay, and once again, the present value formula is A divided by 1 plus R over N raised to the NT equals the present value or the principal. Okay, so we have to write out what we have. The amount is $20,000, right? The time is going to be 18 years. The rate is given as 1.55%, which we know is 0.0155. And N is how many times it's compounded yearly. And it says compounded quarterly, so we know N equals 4. So now we plug everything in. So we get 20,000 all over 1 plus the rate, which is 0.0155, all over N, which is 4, raised to NT, so I have 4 times 18. Okay, and just like the other time around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify that the two numbers that are multiplied in the exponential value. So I'm going to multiply those two together. And when I do, I get 4 times 18, which is 72. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier than the other one if you use this formula, because you're going to have to divide off two numbers here, okay? But you start it the same way. So I start in that denominator, and I take 0.0155 divided by 4 on my calculator, and then I add 1 to that. And when I do that, I should get 1.003875 raised to the 72nd power. Okay? So this is what I have right at this moment. Now, I'm still working in the denominator because I haven't simplified it enough. I'm going to take that value that should still be in your calculator, which is 1.003875. I'm going to raise it to the 72nd power. Okay? And when I do that, I get 1.32109 4856974. Okay, once again, do not simplify your answer down to, like, for instance, 1.32 in this case. Do not do that. Include every single digit that you see on that calculator. Okay, you never, ever, ever reduce something down in the middle of an equation when you deal with financial problems. Okay, so at this point, if you have a key on your calculator that says answer, that will store that 1.3210948566974. If you don't, you have to be very, very careful. Okay, so on your calculator, you are going to clear everything out, and you're going to type in 20,000 divided by 1.3210948566974. If you have an answer key, what you can do is take 20,000 divided by and click on the answer key. And that'll give you the value of $15,138 and 958. Remember, I take it 3 decimal places out because we're dealing with money. So I want to see the third decimal place so I know if I have to round or not. In this case, I have to round. So $15,138.96. So what does this mean? That means that this is the amount of money that Adam needs to place in his account right now. So that way he has $20,000 in 18 years at those given rates and how it's compounded. So once again, present value is how much money do I need now to have a desired amount in the future. By the way, if you're doing present value, it should be less than the amount that they want to have. Okay, that's a good way to check it. So $15,138.96 is less than $20,000. Okay, so let's check out this last one. Last problem of the semester, guys. Woot woot! I would totally give you fireworks if I could. So Sam will need to replace the roof of his house in 5 years. How much money should Sam invest now? There's that wording again. In a money market account that pays 2.1% interest compounded quarterly in order to have $6,000 in 5 years. Okay, I highlighted those important words. Those words tell us invest now compounded, that we have a present value type of problem. And once again, I'm going to use the proper formula. So I have amount over 1 plus R over N raised to the NT equals P. Remember, we're looking for the principal. How much money does he need to put into his account now? Okay, so let's see what we got here. The amount. He needs $6,000 in 5 years, so that 5 is the time. The N, how many times is it compounded, is quarterly, so N equals 4. And the rate is 2.1%. In decimal, that would be 0.021. Okay, now plug and chug. 6,000 over 1 plus the rate, which is 0.021, over N, which is 4, raised to the N, which is 4, times time, which is 5. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go ahead and make that exponent look a little bit better. So I'm going to take and multiply 4 by 5. And when I do that, I get 20. Okay, so I told you, always work on the hardest part first. So we're going to work inside the parentheses. We're going to take 0.021, divide that by 4. And then we're going to add the value of 1. And when I do that, I get 1.00525 raised to the 20th power, and 6,000 is in the numerator. Okay, I'm still not done with the denominator, so I need to raise what I just found, 1.00525 to the 20th power. Okay, so that will result in 6,000 over 1.1104. 0.5579923. Okay? So at this point, if you have the answer key, definitely utilize it. So for you, you use 6,000 divided by answer, and you'll get the value, which I'll get in a second. Or if you're not that fortunate, you're going to have to type all these numbers in. So you're going to type in 6,000 divided by 1.110405579923. And when you do that, you get 5403.431. So once again, I'm including 3 decimal places after the decimal because I want to make sure I round to the hundredth spot because we're talking about money. So I see that value is a 1, so I know I just leave the hundredths place alone. So the answer is going to be $5,403.43. So that's how much money Sam will need now to replace his roof in 5 years. Notice that $5,403.43 is less than $6,000, and that makes sense because we're talking about present value. And by the way, that closes out the section. Congratulations, you are done learning any new material for this semester. So now all you have left to do is upload these notes, do your My Math Lab homework, and then you have review sheets. That's it. All right, woohoo!